Good morning. Welcome to my channel, my page, however you're watching today. I felt guided to pick some cards and share a message. This is the second time I've tried filming this, so we are going to, okay, that's too many. I don't want 4 cards. I need 1 or 2. What message do we need to hear today? Okay, well, I'm gonna count this one because that one fell out first. Foggy bog. Okay, so if I remember this correctly, this one's about not being able to see the way forward, and not being able to really do much beyond stand on your own feet. I'm just going to double check in the Oracle book here because I don't have this deck memorized. The fog in the forest is so dense you can't see your hands in front of your face. You take a step forward, the soil is soft and spongy. You realize that you are standing in a bog, and to go forward is to risk sinking deeper into the mud. The best strategy is to be still and wait for the fog to lift. Okay, so this is about being quiet and still. Have patience, wait until the fog lifts before taking action. The truth will emerge in time. You just need to go deeper. Okay, so this is interesting. I don't actually want to put those in the box. I'm just going to sit them here for now. So this is interesting. We feel maybe like we're at an impasse. We feel like we're maybe stuck. So I'm going to pull a card to see what specifically this is about, just for some added clarification before we move into what to do and how to address it. Let's get me some more additional clarification about where this fog is showing up for the people who need this message. Oh, this is a little tough to shuffle. Oh, okay, there it is. Knight of Coins. Okay, so this is having to do with finances. Ooh, sorry about that. Finances, work, work that requires skill and education. Why am I hearing progress here? Progress and like doing things better, making improvements. So my guess is that if you feel drawn to this reading, you're probably someone who feels kind of stuck right now and you've been unable to make progress. My guess is also, I say guess, but it's I'm really reading the energy. The energy around this is that like all of your practical standbys haven't worked. All of your previous ways of addressing a blockage haven't worked. You've maybe gone back to basics and you've started from, like if you wanted to start over, what would you do? You've looked at that list of things. You've maybe tried some of those things. And I would also, this is a guess. I would venture a guess that the conventional wisdom for what you're facing has also not been useful. And I get the sense that you have maybe made significant efforts, like you have tried, it feels like it's happening before the foggy situation. So it takes time for fog to roll in. It feels like maybe you saw the fog coming and you tried some of these practical things as a prevention so that you didn't get stuck in the fog, and it feels like just nothing worked. And maybe even several of the things that you tried, you didn't even get to finish trying. So if that's feeling resonant, let's pull some cards for advice now. What can we do about this situation? What do we have control over that we can exercise some free will in? Ooh, should we take these? No, I don't think so. I'm gonna flip over. Let's see. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's two. And the third one. All right, so first we had the tower. Just make sure that this is showing up good. I can kind of see it. I'm in the process of getting some different equipment. The tower, the Three of Cups, and Death. Okay. So in terms of advice, the Tower is the card that a lot of people don't want to see anyway. They don't, I mean, it's just, you know, it's a card that gets a really bad rap in my opinion. It requires a change. It requires a mix-up. It can require going back to basics, like I was saying here. And honestly, just uprooting and destroying the foundation that you've built a lot of these things on. I get the sense this may be feeling like you've got this experience in, your entire life. And so when I say that this has come up, the Tower has come up for advice about what to do, that can feel really scary. I almost immediately feel a tension of like, I don't want to do that. I have spent my whole life building X, Y, and Z. I don't want to walk away from it. I don't want to undo the work I've done. The thing that I want to tell you about the Tower, first, it is not the end of the major arcana. It is card number 16. It is almost in the middle of the deck. Okay, it is not the end. It is a waypoint. The card that comes after the Tower, if you watched my previous reading, is the Star. The Star is healing. You cannot heal if you don't have things that are broken and in need of fixing. But the thing is, we can hold on to something that's broken and in need of fixing and convince ourselves that it's not broken and it's not in need of fixing and nothing changes. And the Tower is your opportunity to rip up those things in your life that led to this situation, okay? Now, I don't believe that we single-handedly create this situation through our thoughts or through, like, the reality is that we make choices and other people around us interact with us. We are part of a global community. We do not live in isolation. Our lives are affected by the choices of other people every day. So I don't want you to listen to this reading where I'm saying, here's the Tower, you have the opportunity to undo all the choices or make different choices about what led you here. And I don't want you to hear, you are here because of it's your fault. This is your responsibility. You got here, you ruined this, and now you have to dig yourself out. That is not what I'm saying. You can make the best choices in the world. You can make the most informed and intuitive choices, and things will always change partway through. There's always a possibility. The energy does shift after you make a decision. That is something really important, and I'm going to talk about that in some future videos. So I don't want you to sit here and say that you mired yourself into this foggy bog, that you should have known it was coming, that you should have prevented it, whatever. That's not what I'm doing this reading for. But the Tower is an opportunity to dig deep and pull out all of those things that you did decide that didn't work. Because sometimes when you make decisions from a place of, I can just make this happen, and you don't consider that there's going to be outside influences, this is more likely to happen. And a lot of us don't know that. Like, a lot of us get, especially if you're like into the spiritual world, into the manifesting world, people will tell you, you know, you have to choose different beliefs. You have to see yourself as the powerful creator. There is some truth to that, but it is not the only truth, okay? So, in terms of advice for feeling stuck, you have an opportunity to rip up what is not serving you, the foundations that you've built on that are not serving you. And for some of you, that aha may have just come from what I just said about, you know, you can make your decisions, but if you're not making your decisions knowing there's a possibility for change, you know, that's That's part of the problem. You've gotten yourself gridlocked because you haven't accounted enough for unknown variables. Everyone's done it, okay? No judgment here, okay? There's an opportunity to make some different decisions. Unfortunately, there's destruction in the process. You may go through deconditioning, you may go through a period of like purging emotionally, which I think is more likely the case because we have the Three of Cups that comes in next. And what I find really interesting is that you have a minor arcana card sandwiched by two majors. And this to me tells me that a lot of your solution for getting out of this is going to feel mundane, it's going to feel repetitive, but it's ultimately going to lay the foundation for these two energies to come in and do the good things that they are capable of doing. So Three of Cups, usually we see this as fun and networking and like letting your hair down and connecting with other people. But I think in between the Tower and Death, this is really more about giving yourself permission to feel your feelings and make those emotional connections. So one of the things that I personally have been going through so far this summer is healing some inner adolescent and teen stuff. And I did not have a very fun girlhood. Like, I didn't have girlfriends that I hung out with in my teens. I didn't like go really to the movies with other girls my age. I really stayed home and read my books. And now in my 30s, I'm realizing that I didn't have that experience. And so this summer, I have been giving myself more of that experience by, well, it's kind of a long story, but I've done a lot of the things that I would have loved doing as a teen. And that has been really healing for me, but it feels silly in the moment because, it's a lot of things like, you know, one day I just decided to cut my hair off, and then another day I decided to color my hair. And those are things that I would have loved to do when I was 15, but I didn't have a car. I didn't have disposable income. My parents would not have let me color my hair within, 24 hours of making the decision. So let yourself do fun things. While you have this opportunity to rip up the things that aren't working, let yourself find the fun, okay? Let yourself follow some of your joy and let it be little and mundane. Let it be something like, you always wanted to do X, Y, and Z when you were a kid. You can do it now. What's stopping you? The last card for advice here before I pull from another deck, because I want to get a couple of nuancy things for you, is to allow, so the last card is Death. And a lot like the Tower, this is not the end. The Tower and Death are not the end. There's something in your life that's leaving. There's something in your life that's not working, and it's okay to let that go. It's okay to accept that it has a natural end. I think all of these, these two together are going to result in the ending, the natural pieces of it just falling away. And I want to pull here for some sort of overall life direction as we're taking these cards into advice. The Nine of Wands. Okay, so this tells me you've been maybe feeling stuck and that the situation has been drawn out for some time. This has been a weight that you have carried for years. I heard decades. I'm in my 30s. I have 3 decades under my belt. I don't know if that's for me or somebody else. But this is something you've been carried for a long time, and it's affected your nervous system. It's affected your physical body. I had a card fall out. Hold on. Nurturer of Coins. Okay, I have to double check. I'm pretty sure that means king in this deck. I'm just double checking. This is brand new. This is actually the first tarot deck I bought for myself in 2 years or something. Okay. Did I go right past it? I thought this deck had, or it listed what they were at the beginning. My bad. Coins. Nurture. Okay, so this is actually the Queen. All right, that changes things a little bit. So, I see the Queen of Coins as actually having a really powerful intuition that shows up in a physical sense. So I think if you have been carrying this kind of this situation that's brewing, that's feeling stuck, where you're getting this opportunity to kind of clear your pipes and start fresh, you've been carrying it for a long time. I think you've had a body wisdom about it for a long time. I think that this has been almost an initiation of sorts for you, because you can know and feel something consciously and it's going to affect your body, okay? And when you go through the rigmarole of, I've tried this, I've tried that, I've tried this, you know, like almost I'm seeing in my mind, like when you Google how to solve this problem and you read, like, you know, a blogger has written an article about how they changed their life in 3 easy steps. And the 3 easy steps were, first, they made a personal inventory. Then they looked at what actions they were doing in their daily life that contributed to them not wanting, like, the life that they're living that they wanted to change. Then they made a list of the things that they thought they should change. So, like, say the reason that they're frustrated with their life is they're not physically fit. And they looked at their day, and as part of step 2, they were like, well, I spend my free time sitting down watching Netflix or surfing on the computer. So in step 3, they decide, I'm going to go on a 15-minute walk every day. 15 or 30-minute walk every day. And that is how some people approach problems, and it works for some problems. It works for some people. It doesn't work for everyone. So I feel like maybe you've gotten to this point where you're Googling and seeing what other people are doing to solve the problem, and you're taking their experiences and trying to, apply those to your complex problem, to your complex and layered and nuanced problem. And you've been carrying it for a long time, but you haven't checked in with your body to say, okay, what do I know about this? How can I trust my inner wisdom to fix this? And I want to say right here, this is where I feel like I lose people, because I believe we have this inner wisdom, but a lot of us don't know how to access it. We maybe can pick up on some of the subtleties of it, but we don't always feel confident understanding what the body's actually telling us. And then it's very easy for us to get stuck in our heads and say, well, I can't do that. That's not possible for me. I don't have things in my life that are set up in a way for me to do that. Me, case in point, I've been a stay-at-home mom for, basically 8 years. And whenever I casually mention to someone that, I need a break from my kids because I'm with them all the time, they say, well, just get a time away from them. Well, that requires some logistics. It requires finding a babysitter or making sure my husband's available or something else. And, then there's other variables. Like right now, it is incredibly hot here in the state of Iowa. And so if I were to get a break from my kids, I'd have to go find a place where the temperature is going to work for me. I can't handle the high levels of heat. And sometimes people sort of treat me like I'm making excuses because I know what my limits are. When you get to the point of trying to trust your body, it's hard when your body says, I need a break, and the physical structures aren't in place for that. So I want to draw another card as advice, because I feel like you've heard this before. You know that it's a possibility to lean into and trust your intuition. I know that there's a reason why you haven't done it yet. And rarely is that reason that you don't care, you don't believe, you're unwilling to do it. Actually, sometimes it is that you don't believe, but that's besides the point. There is a reason. Let's see what that reason is, or what we can do to meet that reason. Because part of being trauma-informed means acknowledging that there may be something blocking you that you don't know about, that your body hasn't been ready to face, that your energy hasn't been ready to bring up. Or maybe your body's been communicating it to you for a long time and you're just so used to it, you have kind of tuned it out. That has happened to me. And that can be hard to retrain your body and your mind to work together. But it's not impossible. Let's see. What's the advice? What's the advice for the people who have a block here, who maybe have a trauma here. Okay. Really? Should we pull this one? And pull it. Two of Cups. Okay, this is really easy. And it goes right in hand with our Three of Cups. Some of you are going to feel comfortable going to your bathroom mirror and looking in your eyes and saying, I am willing to trust my body and listen to what it's communicating to me. For some of you, that's going to be really hard. I can see you starting it and then feeling overwhelmed by the emotions. And that's okay. What you can do instead is put your hand over your heart. Excuse me. And just sit here for a minute and say, I'm willing to hear you. I'm willing to receive my own guidance. I'm willing to receive the guidance of my body. I'm holding space and willing to hear what the wisdom of my own body and spirit is trying to tell me. And I think some of you will be surprised that it's less about hurrying up to do something, hurrying up to like mechanically or artificially check items off a list, and more about just connecting with your own self. And for those of you who maybe are already knowing that this is going to be hard because it's going to pull up feelings and an experience you don't necessarily want to have, I would invite you to go and pick up a rose quartz crystal and hold it while you do this. I will have some more resources about how to work with crystals and how to use them in a trauma-informed and neurodivergent supportive way. It's just another set of tools that you can incorporate into your spiritual practice that, you know, respect your uniqueness and allow you to pick a few different things. So if you found this reading helpful, please leave a comment below. I'd love for you to subscribe so that you can see when I post more readings like this. And I hope to see you again soon. Thanks.